Good morning to you, Grenada, Carrier, Cupidi, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. It is a good day to have a good day. Yes. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's the way it's intended to be. How was your night? Hope you had a restful night. Those of you who had the luxury of rest, yeah? And you're up and ready, doing the early morning chores, getting ready, as Blossom would say, preparing yourself for work, to send the children off, maybe drop them off. Don't forget to pray and cover them under the blood. Yeah, the spiritual warfare is real, right? Nice. Good morning one, good morning all. Mildred Smith, good morning to you and Shem. Yeah. Dio Mati, good morning. Michelle Bernard, good morning. My number one fan, Valerie Ferre, good morning. How you do, you and the entire household? Yeah, hope everybody is fine. Yulin Alexander is there. Good morning, Yulin. Ah, yeah. So even though my life is filled with so much ups and downs, I know you. And there's no way, absolutely no way of avoiding that. Life is up and down. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. And sadly, most times you're down, right? You've got more valleys than hills. Hey, that's rhyming. Good morning to the wonderful folks of Hills and Valleys Pharmacy. Howdy do? Thank you for my daily bread. Oh, merciful Father, through your grace my soul is. Today is going to be a good day. Yeah. Lovey, today is going to be a good day. It is here. It is now. Papa God walks, sometimes, as Wendell Maxwell told me once, he does walk slow, sometimes he walks too slow, but he walks. He's on to the hills. It's coming to my head. 22 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock. What up, and the driver of HD390 and the passengers? Understand there's a senior citizen that is always locked on. He drives a Nissan bus. I can't remember the name at this time, but good morning to you, bro. All those of you who locked on at this time, good morning. Smolax, good morning. Sally, and how did do? Thank you for the privilege. Oh, merciful Father. Let's head into the word of the day. It's 22 minutes on to 7. And the word of the day today is the word scrofulous. Scrofulous. S-C-R-O-F-U-L-O-U-S. S-C-R-O-F-U-L-O-U-S. Scrofulous. And it simply means morally tainted. Yeah, your moral compass is off. I was going to call a name, but, I have to travel to the U.S. soon, so I have to be careful. I can't call your name. Next thing you win. That's the beauty of words, right? You can use them in such a way, such a descriptive way that without calling a name, you can know who I'm talking about. Let me live. Yes, scrofulous, morally tainted. Here's how we can use it in a sentence. The leader's scrofulous behavior was evident in her frequent abuses of power and disregard for ethical standards. All your precious gifts to me. Yeah, I know the male version of that. I don't know just what the future. So remember that, the word of the day, scrofulous. Urban Mason, good morning to you and the wonderful folks inside of Munich. Yeah, Branny and Daddy Galba. Good morning. The Maxwins. Petlin, good morning. Mama Can, good morning. Must say good morning to Mama Can, yeah? Mommy Lyris. Christmas coming up on there. If your name go be in a parang this year. Nah, I don't think Kingman doing that kind of parang anymore, boy. I don't think so. Don't touch me, Quattro. Yeah, could you imagine Christmas time is right around the corner? But nonetheless, folks, it's time for the motivational tip of the day. Let's see what it is this morning. Nadisha, good morning to you. And the Sandersons, good morning, good morning, good morning. Ryan and Nakita. Ryan, you're that kind of fella, you know. This morning it says quality is not an act, it's a habit. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. Yeah. You don't pretend, you don't show off quality. It's embedded in you. It's part of your DNA. It's part of your deoxyribonucleic acid. Good morning to Miss Annie Charles, my biology teacher from McDonald College. Man, I would never forget those days, trust me. Good morning to Miss Clarissa Sylvan. How you doing? You good, Mom? Nice. The wonderful folks inside of Mali and surrounding areas. Downtown Shirley, good morning to you, Monk Craven. All right, let's head on now to the nutrition health tip of the day.
So even though my life is filled with so much ups and downs, I know you got the powers to turn this thing.
Follow these steps and you'll be fine. Drink lots of water, keep the body.
Research has shown that eating a healthy and balanced diet can reduce the risk of developing some types of cancers. Having a healthy, well-planned diet can help you to maintain healthy eating patterns, which can help to manage the body's weight and vitals. According to the American Institute for Cancer Research, having a healthier diet can help to prevent up to 1/3 of cancers. 50% of the most common cancers can be prevented by eating well, exercising, not smoking, protecting your skin, and getting vaccinated. It is also proven that being obese or overweight can put you at risk of developing some types of cancers. Cancer Research UK also advises that your overall diet, which is what you would normally eat over the course of a week, is more important than individual foods when it comes to cancer prevention. The research states that eating a healthy diet overall can help you to manage your weight. Eating whole grains regularly would help improve your digestive system, and eating fewer red meats would help you to reduce the occurrence of cancers in the bowel and digestive system. It is advised to eat more fruit and vegetables, eat lots of whole grains, and foods that are high in fiber. Eat some healthy sources of protein like fresh meat and fish, and eat less processed foods such as canned meats and red meat. And incorporate dairy if desired, as it can contribute towards a healthy, balanced diet. When it comes to cancer prevention, there is no meal plan or diet that can guarantee that you don't develop the disease. However, eating a healthy, balanced diet can reduce the risk. Grenada's food-based dietary guidelines advises that you should eat a variety of healthy and safe foods and add a larger number of fruits and colorful vegetables to your daily diet to help promote a healthy body. For example, regularly eating foods that are high in fiber can reduce the risk of bowel cancer. The guidelines also advises to flavor foods with local fresh seasonings and spices, avoid highly processed foods, snacks, and drinks as they are high in fat, salt, and sugar. Eat what you grow and grow what you eat. Drink more water and avoid alcohol. Implementing these habits in your daily life can help to promote healthier eating habits and a healthier lifestyle. Until next time, the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council reminds you to look, eat, and feel well.
This is the day the Lord has made.
And I will rejoice
Rejoice
and be glad.
glad in it. Hear my prayer. Hear my prayer.
I want to say good morning to one of my listeners that I met on Monday. Grace, good morning to you. How you doing?
To start afresh again.
You know, I start to feel kind of nice nowadays, boy. People meeting me and they're enjoying the program. That's nice.
Since one,
You're the reason why I'm here this morning. I look forward to it every day.
I want to say
What's buzzing this morning? Well, the Financial Intelligence Unit warns against employment scams.
Father.
There's also a new tropical wave that's emerged in the Atlantic, and it's going to bring the total so far to 3, right? In the region, we hear of an elderly woman found dead at a home in Trinidad. Foul play is suspected.
Oh yes,
Is there anything new in Trinidad with that is concerned?
oh my.
Sadly, at least 12 people were killed after a boat capsized in the English Channel. And in sports, the Trinbago Knight Riders coach Phil Simmons, well, he's challenged Nicholas Purran to break the CPL batting record. We'll have more and the news right after this. The news is up next. Stay tuned.
Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department or participating outlets for a chance to win free fuel, free drinks, free prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free Hub TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free Dutch Lady milk, free passes to Sunshine promotion events for 2024, free groceries, all for one whole year. And every winner receives a free lunch package. But that's not all. Drive away in style in a brand new Isuzu D-Max. It sits, it doesn't guzzle. So fill out your entries and place them into the marked entry boxes. This promotion is brought to you in part by Dutch Lady, Danny, Promo, Supreme Bleach, Creative Chef, Grenlag, Floor, Salt Petroleum, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Coca-Cola, Sunshine Promotion, Caribberies, Coop Bag, Sesame Spain, and Food Fear. Promotion runs from April 2nd to December 24. Terms and conditions apply.
Served Grenada for decades, we are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sun Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated.
Well, this is the GBN Morning News for today, Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. Coming up in the news, Financial Intelligence Unit warns against employment scams. We've got new tropical wave emerging in the Atlantic, which brings the total to 3. In the region, an elderly woman found dead at her home in Trinidad. Foul play is suspected. Internationally, at least 12 people killed after their boat capsized in the English Channel. And in sports, the Trinbago Knight Riders coach Phil Simmons has challenged Nicholas Purran to break the CPL batting record. We've got the details to this and more after these messages.
Served Grenada for decades, we are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sun Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
From St. George's to Guam, Classic FM 105.5 and 105.9.
Good morning, Gordon Josephine with the details to the news. Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Brendan Latouche, has issued a message specifically directed to the unemployed section of the populace. We have this message in this report.
Are you unemployed or looking for a higher earning opportunity? Have you seen a sponsored advertisement on social media? Facebook in particular? Stop. Think about your next move. Things may just be about to take a turn for the worse. It may seem legit, but if it seems too good to be true, it definitely is. Look out for the following red flags. Does the company's name seem unusual or unfamiliar? Do your due diligence. Find out about your proposed new employer by doing your own research. Do not use a link given by the person. Are you required to give your banking and other personal details, full name, account number, telephone number, account type information? Are you being pressured to move with a sense of urgency? Are you required to send monies overseas? Does your pay or commission seem unusually high for the tasks required? Are communication done only through social media, direct messages, without any face-to-face or verbal communication? Is there a hesitancy or refusal to share basic company information, such as website or physical address? Are you being asked to click suspicious links to upload personal data? Do not get involved. You may be partnering with criminals or scammers in the commission of a crime, and you can be charged. Save yourself the embarrassment. Do not go down that road.
Please do not go there. At the National Hurricane Center, the NHC is currently monitoring 3 tropical waves in the Atlantic Basin, with the latest system forming in the eastern tropical Atlantic Ocean. The newest disturbance, located in the far eastern Atlantic, is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Forecasters predict that environmental conditions may become slightly more favorable for development later this week. There's a possibility that the system could evolve into a tropical depression as it moves slowly west-northwestward or northwestward over the eastern tropical Atlantic Ocean. The NHC warns that the system may bring locally heavy rains and gusty winds to portions of the Cabo Verde Islands within the next day or two. The chances of formation are currently low at 10% over the next 48 hours, but increases to medium of 40% over the next 7 days. And finally, Janelle Hopkin, the president and managing director of the renowned Spice Island Beach Resort, is among speakers to address delegates from across the region as the Caribbean tourism industry gears up for a week of discussions, insights, and networking at the Caribbean Tourism Organization's State of the Tourism Industry Conference, referred to as SOTIC. SOTIC 2024 is being held this week in the Cayman Islands under the theme Caribbean Tourism, Fueling Our Lifeblood. The conference is meant to delve into the critical issues shaping the region's tourism landscape and explore innovative strategies for sustainable growth. The event is being hosted by the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism and Ministry of Tourism and Ports. The SOTIC conference, starting on Wednesday, will feature a diverse lineup of speakers, panelists, and experts who will share their knowledge and perspectives on a wide range of topics, including artificial intelligence, data analytics, and digital marketing strategies that can enhance the visitor experience and drive efficiency, also the critical role of air travel in facilitating tourism growth, and so much more. The conference will also analyze the evolving cruise sector and its impact on Caribbean destinations. Topics will include port infrastructure development, sustainable cruise practices, and community engagement. Now that concludes the local segment of news. The regional roundup and international developments are along with the sports and the weather. They are straight ahead. It's 6 minutes away from 7 o'clock. At this time, we now join the Caribbean News Desk for this morning's edition of the Regional News Roundup.
From the the Caribbean News Desk, the morning edition. Good morning. I'm Dennis Chabrol.
And I'm Kendall Morgan with the latest from across the Caribbean.
The Vincentian Parliament has approved new categories of CARICOM skilled nationals who may move to and work in the country. The Parliament yesterday extended the right to artisans, domestic and agricultural workers, and the private security guards. The move comes as CARICOM countries have gone almost a year and a half past the March 2023 deadline they set for a full free movement of all CARICOM nationals across the community. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves told the Parliament the sticking point among the countries continues to be what rights should be granted to the family of the person moving to another CARICOM country.
What are these rights to which you are entitled? Are you entitled to all the rights, for instance, in the area of health, from primary health care to secondary to tertiary, as citizens of the country? Are you entitled to the educational provisions as children in the host countries, from primary to secondary to post-secondary? And there's a big debate over the extent of the contingent rights. The position of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we will go to the furthest extent that the community market, the political market can bear.
A fit-for-purpose justice system. That's the call from Belize Prime Minister John Brasinio as the country's judges, magistrates, prosecutors, defense lawyers and other legal practitioners meet this week to advance the case for criminal justice reform.
I'm sure that during the discussions with all will reaffirm that a criminal justice system must be firm but fair in holding offenders to account for the wrongs that they have committed against their fellow citizens. The victims, their loved ones, and society must feel and be able to show that the state is serious about punishing the wrong that was committed. In other words, we must have a criminal justice system that is fit for purpose with adequate laws and systems in place.
The Belize Criminal Justice Reform Conference is seeking to give practical expression to recommendations developed by an arm of the CCJ, its Academy of Law. Acting CCJ President Justice Winston Anderson told the gathering that justice reform is important to dealing with the region's development challenges.
In general, our Caribbean societies face a crisis in criminal justice. High crime rates, low detection rates, overcrowded remand centers and prisons, inadequate rehabilitative services, social, psychological, and economic dislocation of victims of crime. Criminal justice reform is integral to turning this picture around and in the direction of sustainable development.
Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown says he's convinced his decision to meet directly with warring youth gangs is the right one, especially as they've expressed a desire to call a truce. Prime Minister Brown met on Monday evening with the Grace Farm Killers Gang following an earlier meeting last Thursday with its rival Tudrili Gang. He says the gangs, made up primarily of teenagers, made chilling revelations of near-death experiences and showed the scars from the many gruesome injuries received from the gang warfare. The Prime Minister says the rival gang members have agreed to a truce meeting on Thursday, and his administration plans to hold follow-up meetings and develop initiatives to support their development and reform.
Premier of the British Virgin Islands, Dr. Natalia Wheatley, yesterday escaped debate on a no-confidence motion. Opposition leader Ronnie Skelton sponsored the no-confidence motion because of the Premier's multi-million-dollar error in the calculation of salaries in this year's budget, his frequent travels, and the rising crime in the territory. The House Speaker, Corinne George Massicote, said the no-confidence motion against the Premier was not properly placed because it was sent to the Speaker instead of the clerk.
I am in agreement that the standing order, in particular 23, was not adhered to, and I do not believe anyone questioned whether or not I had such a discretion to allow the matter to still proceed, given that the proper procedure was not followed. So it is my ruling that Standing Order 23 was not adhered to, And as such, the motion was not properly placed on the order paper.
As the new school year begins in St. Kitts and Nevis, Education Minister Dr. Geoffrey Handley has warned that teachers will strictly enforce a hair guidelines policy. He says the policy will ensure students maintain clean, neat hair with no distracting hairstyles.
Extreme hairstyles that may distract from the learning environment will not be allowed. To our male students, your hair must be combed and kept neat and tidy. Your hair must not obstruct the normal view of others. To our female students, your extensions for safety purposes should be shoulder length. To be clear, the hair guidelines are a privilege, one that students can lose if they do not abide by the rules.
This has been the morning edition from the Caribbean News Desk. You may contact us by phone or WhatsApp on +592 700 9293. Thanks for listening.
And looking further afield, at least 12 people have died and dozens have been rescued after the boat they were traveling in capsized during an attempted crossing of the English Channel, authorities say. French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin said 12 people were found dead and rescue operations were underway on Tuesday to find 2 people still missing. He said he would travel to the site near the town of Boulogne-sur-Mer later in the afternoon. And finally, a bus crashed into a crowd of students and parents outside a school in eastern China on Tuesday morning, killing 11 people and injuring 13 others, according to police and state media. The students were waiting to enter the gate of a middle school in Tai An City in Shandong province when the bus slammed into them after 7 a.m., the state news agency Xinhua reported. The bus, specially customized for transporting students, lost control when it drove into an intersection, the Public Security Bureau in Dongping County said in a statement. That's the regional roundup and international news. Stay with us. The sporting highlights are straight ahead. Good morning, sporting fans. Trinbago Knight Riders head coach Phil Simmons has challenged top order batsman Nicholas Pooran to surpass the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League T20 record for most runs in a season at the 2024 edition. Simmons made the call during TKR's victorious post-match meeting on August 31st after thumping St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots by 44 runs in their opening match at the Warner Park in Basseterre, St. Kitts. Pooran's blitz with the bat, 97 runs from 43 balls, saw the Trinbago Knight Riders post a mammoth 250 for 4, the league's third highest score, and then restrict the host to 206 for 8 en route to a resounding first match triumph. His early dominance with the bat spurred Simmons on to challenge the left-hander to achieve a record-breaking 2024 season. New Zealander Colin Munro leads the most runs in the season category, courtesy his stellar 565 runs achieved for TKR in the 2018 edition. Pooran's most successful CPL season with the bat came in 2023, where he scored 291 runs in total. His stellar knock of 97 was made up of 9 sixes and 7 fours. When he struck his 6th six, Pooran became the batter to achieve the most T26s in a calendar year after he surpassed Chris Gale's 135. Pooran now leads the global standing with 139 T26s in a calendar year, and the tournament has just begun. That's my boy. And that's the sports. We'll have more sports for you in the midday edition. Stay with us. The weather is up next. And folks, for the latest weather forecast, we now join forecaster at the Met Office of the MBIA, Trishy Miller. Good morning, Trishy.
Good morning to you, and good morning to listeners of GBN. It's a fair morning here at the airport. Winds are from the east at 10 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 1012.8 millibars, which is below the mean, but it's rising. Present temperature 28.9 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 79%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 31.6 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature last night was 27.5 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, only 1.3 millimeters of rainfall were recorded here at the MBIA. This brings the total for the month so far to 4.5 millimeters. Now the public forecast valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The weather is expected to be mostly fair. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Today's maximum temperature is expected to get up to 32.5 degrees Celsius. Seas slight to moderate, waves 3 to 5 feet in open waters. Tides will be low around 10 a.m. and high about 4 p.m. Sunset this evening at 6:15. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 5:56. So just to recap, the weather is expected to be mostly fair. From the Met Office, Trisha Miller.
Trishi, before you run off, in the news I read that the National Hurricane Center is monitoring 3 systems that just came off the Cape Verde Islands. Are they already within our purview of scrutiny?
Yeah, there's a tropical wave. It's only at a 10% chance of becoming a cyclone within the next 48 hours. But it's already north of us.
Okay.
So we're monitoring, but no concern right now.
It's no reason to bother.
No.
Okay.
Nothing to panic about.
It's nice hearing that from you. Trishi, have a good day.
Okay, you too. Thanks.
All right, folks, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick and Thompson Company Limited.
Get money when you want, almost anywhere you want.
Get ready! A new season of the Grenada debates is coming. Informative, impromptu,
At 8 minutes after 7 o'clock, it's time for us to do a recap of the headlines. Locally, Financial Intelligence Unit warns against employment scams. A new tropical wave emerges in the Atlantic, bringing the total to 3. And in the region, elderly woman found dead at her home in Trinidad, and foul play is suspected. Internationally, at least 12 people killed after their boat capsized in the English Channel. And the Trinbago Knight Riders head coach Phil Simmons, he has challenged Nicholas Puran to break the CPL batting record in this CPL cycle. That has been the morning edition of news for today, Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. On behalf of the entire news department, I'm Gordon Joseph, thanking you for listening, wishing you a productive day, and extending the invitation to you to stick and stay with the network, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere.
Get ready! A new season of the Grenada debates is coming. Informative, impromptu, bright young minds sparking powerful ideas. Tune in.
As we get ready to give thanks, the long Thanksgiving weekend. Legends Promotions presents the 18th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert, Saturday, October 26th, Grenada Trade Center at 7:30 p.m. featuring the 1980 Calypso Monarch Survivor. Together with Stubbles. 10 times Calypso Monarch Scholar. Alongside Luther, Tobago Crusoe, and 7 times Soca and 10 times Road March King. Super Blue. Super Blue. Tickets cost $60 and are available at all Gittins Healthcare Pharmacies, Wall Street, Grenville, and Guelph, Springs Shopping Center, St. David's Pharmacy, Clear Vision Eye Care Center, on the Carinage, and Gittins Pharmacy, St. George's. It's the 18th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert, Saturday, October 26th, Thanksgiving weekend, Grenada Trade Center, 7:30 p.m. You can't afford to miss this one.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department or participating outlets for a chance to win free fuel, free drinks, free prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free hub TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free Dutch Lady milk, free passes to Sunshine promotion events for 2024, free groceries, all for 1 whole year, and every winner receives a free lunch package. But that's not all. Drive away in style in a brand new Isuzu D-Max. It sits, it doesn't guzzle. So fill out your entries and place them into the marked entry boxes. This promotion is brought to you in part by Dutch Lady, Danny, Promo, Supreme Bleach, Creative Chef, Grenlac, Floor, Salt Petroleum, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Coca-Cola, Sunshine Promotion, Caribberies, Coop Bank, Sesame Spain, and Food Fear. Promotion runs from April 2nd to December 24. Terms and conditions apply.
Good morning. Welcome to the conversation this morning. As you can see, I'm smiling because I've got 2 beautiful ladies from, in the studio with me. I mean, I wish my mornings could be like that all the time, It sets a precedence for a good day. I've got with me 2 ladies from the Ministry of Climate Resilience and a whole lot of other things that comes along with it. They will further explain. And they're here to talk about the National Adaptation Plan. Yes. Roxanne Belfon?
No, Graham. She's Belfon.
Oh, she's Belfon. Roxanne Graham and Adasha Belfon. Good morning, ladies. Welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
No, I want you all to do that together. Good morning, ladies. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
I've just found my background vocals for next year.
Ah.
You all sound very harmonious. Good. So, you're from the Ministry of Climate Resilience and a whole lot of other things to do with the climate and the environment and so forth. But you're here particularly to talk about the National Adaptation Plan. Tell us about that. In addition to that, we also have a series of seminars or exposes coming up. So tell us about that. What is this national? Firstly, I want to get some personal information. The Ministry of Climate Resilience and all the other titles behind it. What is the core function of that ministry? What that ministry really does?
So the ministry is the Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment, and Renewable Energy. So a lot of what the ministry is actually responsible for is for managing the impacts that are experienced from climate change every day. So that's the Ministry of Climate Resilience. How do we build resilience to combat the impacts of climate change? And we also have, like I said, the environment, and they deal a lot with, of course, the environment. So environmental health, coastal protection, coastal zone conservation, and a number of ecosystem related topics as well. How do we conserve biodiversity, species, research? So it comprises a lot. And then of course we also have the division of renewable energy, and they are responsible for, well, renewable energy. The name speaks for itself, right? So it's things like from solar panel,
lowering emissions.
Yes. So it's all about reducing carbon dioxide emissions in the environment. And that leads us to the topic now of climate change.
Good. I want to just touch on
that. To add something.
Lovely. Good. Okay. All right. Very good. So, right. So now we're getting to the core of the conversation. Your National Adaptation Plan. What is that all about?
Okay. So it doesn't make sense to talk about the National Adaptation Plan without talking about the topic of climate change. Right? So climate change occurs because of the concept of global warming. And how is the Earth warming? It's because there is increased input of gases such as carbon dioxide and methane. These gases are increasing in the atmosphere and depleting the ozone layer, right? So we know that there's like a layer around the Earth, that is the atmosphere, right? And these gases are depleting the ozone layer and causing the heat from the sun to impact the Earth more, and that is why ocean warming, for instance, is happening. And then you see impacts like sea level rise and coral bleaching and so forth. So we experience the impacts of climate change every day. So that was just a couple examples. There are other examples of climate change. For instance, Hurricane Beryl. Right, the Category 4 hurricane that made landfall in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, right? So early also. So it's happening earlier. The intensities are also increasing, and it's happening more frequently, globally speaking as well. We also have sea level rise, right? And with sea level rise, we have certain consequences like coastal erosion and apart from coastal erosion, flooding as well. And these things are affecting people's homes, their businesses, and so forth. So these are the slow onset events that people, tend to experience every day. And then we now have to deal with these impacts that we are feeling, and that is true adaptation, right? And when I'm talking about adaptation, we're talking about being able to sustainably adjust to these effects that we're feeling. And this is where the National Adaptation Plan comes in now.
Well, I'm so anxious to hear about this plan, because anything that would cause me not to be as hot as I was earlier this year, because all it did was increase my electricity bill. I had to keep my AC running consistently. So I want to hear about this plan. Tell me how to adapt to this heat thing and other things that come along with the climate change.
Okay. You want to take it?
Okay, so first, the National Adaptation Plan. It's called a plan, but it's a process. And so this has been in the making since 2015. There was a first document that was approved from 2017 to 2021. So what we're doing now is updating this document within our current reality, that is 2024. And the document that we're working on will be, the implementation period will be 2025 to 2030. And so it covers 13 programs of actions that we call POAs, and they cover things like water availability, food security, disaster resilience, disaster risk management. It also covers institutional arrangements. That would be a collaboration of all the different ministries where all of the projects that the government has have going on, at the same time they'll have to go through certain trainings and certain approval processes to ensure that they're adapting to climate change. For example, the Renewable Energy Department, when it comes to the AC and the refrigerants, they have this new program now where they're bringing in, or you get 0%, you pay 0% import duties on certain AC units and refrigerators if they have the what do you call it? The thing that they have, the liquid, the gas. Sorry, yes. If the gas, it doesn't. The refrigerant. Yes, thank you very much. It doesn't give off the harmful gases to the environment, and so these are some things of how we are adapting. So, for example, you mentioned you were hot and your AC, you had to run your AC. The only way we can go to the sun and say, well, you know what, guy, you need to chill.
Yeah, cool down. Take a chill pill. Yeah,
and so for your particular situation, how you can adapt would be to change your AC unit to one that is more environmentally friendly, and it would also reduce your electricity bill.
That's where my good friend comes in, Leslie Smith.
Yes.
And he's
Quantum, good morning.
He's the director of
yes.
division.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm happy that you're here. One of the things that I'm realizing is that the ministry on a whole seems to be a very youthful ministry. Even your minister is very youthful.
Yes.
And that speaks well, it augurs well futuristically, in that I would be gone. People like you, the younger ones that will have to deal with the real...
Like if he's so old. Like if he's so far from us.
I'm an aged man, right? I'm an aged man, right?
Young lady.
Yeah. Right. And is it the younger folks who will actually get the full brunt
correct
of the impacts of climate change. So I'm happy to see that we have a youthful minister and a youthful ministry who are, you all are very knowledgeable. I'm listening to you all speak and I'm saying, wow, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
You're very knowledgeable, and I'm happy at that. So as it relates to the continuing on the National Adaptation Plan, all right, based on the plans and programs that you all are putting together now, how does Grenada look in terms of realizing what you're really trying to do in the not too distant future?
Okay, so first of all, this process, like Adasha mentioned earlier, it's not a new one. It started since 2015, but the official first plan was for 2017 to 2021. So it's a process, and we're revising that plan based on, the new data that is available, the new experiences from different stakeholders. And that's another important topic right there as well, just to mention. In the revision process, we wanted to ensure that we involve a wide variety of stakeholders. We cannot just sit in our offices as experts and say, okay, this is the plan for Grenada. No, we need to engage different stakeholders. So that is persons from the different ministries, the different sectors. So it's not just climate resilience. We want to engage agriculture because we're talking about food security.
Yes.
Right? We engage tourism. We want to also engage, you just mentioned youth. So we did engage some of the youth through the groups like CYEN. Right? We also engaged the airports, right, because they collect a lot of data in terms of temperature and precipitation, and these are important information to understand when we're talking about climate change, because we know that we're getting increased rainfall, right, and torrential rainfall, and all of these are another example of climate change. So we need this information. We also engaged in our new POA on climate mobility. So you asked about the future. Climate mobility is one of our newest program of action. So when you hear me say POA, persons who are listening, that's a program of actions.
Yes.
And Adasha mentioned that there are 13 of them, and the newest one is based on climate mobility. And this is about safely relocating persons who, for instance, may have experienced like Hurricane Beryl and had to move from Carriacou to Grenada. It's about safely relocating these persons in a dignified manner to somewhere that is, safe, and also offering psychosocial support and other services that is necessary for, that transfer, in terms of transportation. So it's a big plan in itself, right? So we engaged persons from like the police and immigration. So these are where the key stakeholders.
That's what I'm realizing there. This is a whole lot of engagements, and that is critically important in that when you have all these different stakeholders involved and engaged, it makes the process more acceptable,
of course,
more accommodating, because the people are part and parcel of what is happening, so they don't feel isolated or feel strange when they actually in the situation, because they're part and parcel of it.
Yes.
Right. And so this leads to, so we didn't just invite stakeholders and listen to them and take notes and go back and sit down in our little cubicles or offices and present something. Later this month we have validation workshops, and this is where all the information that we've taken from stakeholders, put it into the new document that would be updated now, and present it back to them and say, this is what we took from you. Is this what you said? And can you validate? Is it acceptable? Can you validate that this is what you said? And so the persons that we engage, they would all come together. So for the programs of actions, we invited, for example, the one on water availability. NAWASA had a heavy presence in the room, and so NAWASA will now meet with immigration and RGPF, and it'll be like a big discussion on the entire document for persons to say, this is what we contributed towards. These are our ideas, our plans. We can relate to this. We accept this. We validate this plan.
Now let me ask this. Historically, right?
Yeah.
We have a culture where we see all these nice engagements and nice meetings and all these things, and a nice document comes out. And when it comes for the implementation of it, it's sparse. Please, with this new administration high on transformation and so forth, don't let these things just be efforts in futility. I like what I'm hearing, but I want to see it
in fruition.
Okay.
And we agree, and we think it would definitely happen, and that's because the government has been very strong in terms of developing partnerships with external organizations. Yes. So, for instance, our project is funded by the Global NAP? Yes. And also that is facilitated through the International Institute for Sustainable Development. So there is funding available for the process. And then there will be funding also available for the projects that would come from the process, right? And it is a big program, and it is a continuous process. So we want to be able to start, bit by bit. So we wouldn't try to just jump at everything.
Yeah.
So
that's a small implementation.
So what we're going to do is actually identify what are the 5 main priority projects that is coming out of the National Adaptation Plan, and then seek the funding and start the projects accordingly.
I'm going to hold you all to this.
Once you start and these international organizations, when they're seeing progress, it's easy to come on board and say, okay, they're doing something,
so we'll pump
fund
some money.
Yes.
I'm going to pump some money.
And so we'll start with the priority areas and then take it from there. But as small island developing states, we do give off a lot carbon dioxide. We do give off these harmful gases, but it's nothing compared to these developed countries. When you look at the chart, we're like 0.00000, like 7 zeros, and then you see a 1, right? Yeah. So we're barely on that. On those tables, we're not.
So it's time for these bigger countries to pay for what they're doing to us.
Yes, and that is where climate justice.
And I heard Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell in a conference the other day. He spoke loudly about that. That they have to pay for what they're doing to us. We don't contribute the kind of heat that we are getting. We don't emit that amount of carbon dioxide and the other harmful gases. Yes. So they have to pay us.
We don't, and then our economies are so small, it's more difficult for us to now adapt to these changes, and then they're becoming a reality. We face them every day. Every single day we go outside now, it's a new record temperature or something. And the bigger countries, they don't have that. They have their 4 seasons, and they have winter, and they chill in the fall, you know.
But things are starting to change.
Things are, but it's slower
Beryl,
for them. In Texas, yes.
As Category 1. Look at how many destruction it did to Texas.
Beryl was
Bay in Texas, right? So maybe when they feel it, they might actually start to do something about it as well. Right? Yes. I don't want to say that as something positive at all, because it isn't.
That's true.
Maybe if they do feel some of the impacts,
they can relate.
Action
but having said all that, you know, we also have to take into consideration that it's all part of God's plan. Yeah, nothing is strange to him. He knew those things would happen. Maybe it's just
man could have done a better job in controlling, right?
That's the idea.
It's anthropogenic. So we know that climate change
that's a big
is
one.
natural. Anthropogenic. People are causing these impacts to become even more increasingly a problem.
Bad practices, bad habits, and so forth. Now you have a series of workshops or seminars coming up.
Yes.
And could because I really want our populace to engage and embrace these initiatives. So could you just share that with us?
Okay, so we do have a slogan that we recently developed for our promotions, and it's everyone in action for climate change adaptation.
Everyone in action for climate change adaptation.
So you say we spoke about the stakeholders and trying to involve all sectors. You mean that everyone has a role to play when it comes to adapting, and we want to sensitize the communities in Grenada all about climate change and what the National Adaptation Plan intends to do, and let them know what is going to be going on. And we also want to gain their perspective as well, right? What are they experiencing? Although we did engage civil society, we didn't get to necessarily hear from specific local people, and this is where the opportunity comes now for local people to engage with this process.
Okay. Yeah.
So
nice.
We do have a set of dates here. We're starting off with St. Patrick's, and this is on Monday 9th September at Mount Craven Community Center. And then we move to St. Andrew on Wednesday 11th, and this is going to be at Grenville Secondary School. Then there is St. John and St. Mark. We've grouped them together, and this is going to be held at the St. John Anglican School, and this is on Thursday 12th. And this is followed by the following week. So on Monday 16th September, we're going to be in St. David's at the Canal. And then on Tuesday 17th, we're going to be in St. George's, Boca Secondary School. And all of these start at 5 p.m. And we do, of course, we are including Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So we're going to go over there on Friday 20th September. And this is going to be held at the Mermaid Hotel. And that starts at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay. All right. So from these engagements, people hearing us now and wanting to participate, what exactly are you expecting the ordinary man that walks into these events? What are you expecting from him or her?
I'm hoping to hear the ways they adapt, right? Because we're talking about adaptation. So we know the impacts in general. Maybe there are specific things that they experience. So I want to learn more from them, but I also want to understand how are they adapting? Are they adapting in a sustainable manner? Or are they adapting in a way that is perhaps negative to the environment or negative to their health? Because there are ways that you can be adapting that can cause something negative. For instance, I can give an example. I spoke about sea level rise earlier on, right? And that persons experience coastal erosion and flooding. And some persons throughout Grenada and Carriacou would create haphazard barriers. So that is made out of tires and maybe galvanized and debris, plastic bags full of sand, so different debris materials, and you put that all together to, try and create a barrier from...
And you think you're doing a good thing.
And you think you're doing a good thing because you're just protecting, right? At the end of the day, you're trying to survive and you're protecting your property. But this is also contributing to another global problem, which is marine debris. All of these garbage tends to erode over time and enter into the ocean, and you're contributing to another problem, and this is what you call a maladaptation practice. Another instance would probably be persons who store water, because when we just went through the dry spell, we had to declare a water crisis in May. I think it was May 10th, and essentially we had to do a lot of storage of water, right? And people are maybe not necessarily educated, some people, right, on how to use this water, right? So persons might have been thirsty and using that stored water to drink, and that contributes to, of course, health issues like gastroenteritis and so there's more education that is needed in terms of ways to adapt, and I'm hoping to hear how they adapt and maybe some of the effects of what they see from their adaptation. Is it positive or is it negative? So we're hoping to learn more and just gain more insight from the local community.
Okay. Our stakeholder engagements so far have been very much planned and corporate, for want of a better word. So we sit in our AC rooms and we discuss on our laptops and everything.
Drink the whiskey and...
No, we're not there yet.
Yeah? No, man.
No.
Okay.
And so for what I would like to see for the community engagements would, a very informal grassroots, just sit down and just talk, and for us to listen and just really hear. Because as you say, we're a bit younger than you. We haven't...
Quite younger.
And so there are a lot of people who are older, for example, our grandparents and their peers, that we can learn some things from. What have they done over the years? And they would have seen the progression of climate change more than us, and so they would be able to, just sit down and just talk. Sometimes, for example, I always talk about such as...
That's where you're from?
My father.
Okay.
And so I'm a St. Mark's girl. Yes, but I went to McDonald College, if that helps.
Saltando alta petimas.
Amen. Yes. I'm sorry. We belong. And so I always think of such as, and growing up and seeing the beach and what it was and what it is now. And so, just to hear, what is your experience? When did you realize that the water was in your yard? When did you wake up? Because it's not like the water looks about 2 centimeters higher today. You're going about your daily business, and then one day it's like, oh wait, there's a wave outside my window or something like that. And so just to hear, based on your community your community experiences, just talk, and then we can go back and see what we have with our projects and plans and make sure that everything is aligned and that we're not moving forward with something that is way over their heads or doesn't consider the realities.
I like the approach of the community engagements. I would like to see more of it. Why? Because in addition to getting the information that you're soliciting, it also gives the individuals in the communities or the individual communities that sense of...
Is it like an urgency?
Not just urgency, but it makes them feel... It gives them that sense that we're important too.
Okay, yes.
And they are coming to us. And that has a multiplier effect, in my opinion. It also changes the whole culture. It could even change their behavioral patterns.
That's true. Yes.
You understand? Because we're not this community in beaten and we're behind God back and people not paying much attention to us. We're just as statistics when it comes for election and so forth. They're actually engaging us.
Yes,
that's true. Yes.
So I would like to see other ministries, other departments take that sort of approach and have these engagements, because they do have the multiplier effect.
Yes, and one of the program of actions is actually based on education and engagement. So perhaps once that program of action is executed, because remember, it's not only climate resilience, it's the involvement of all ministries, and perhaps from a climate change angle, there would be more engagements in future.
Okay, so tell you what we'll do. You notice the phone lines has been going, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't notice.
Yeah, all right. The light has been going, so it means that people want to engage.
Okay.
I don't think we have another guest, so it will be my pleasure to have you with me for the entire program. So what we are going to do, we are going to take a commercial break, and after which we'll engage.
Okay.
Yeah. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah. It also gives me more to spend more time with two beautiful ladies early in the morning, and that in itself is it's good. So tell you folks what we do. It's 21 minutes on to the hour of 8 o'clock. We'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll open up the lines where you can make meaningful engagement with our guests and share your ideas, ask a question, and I'm certain that they are amply able to answer.
We'll try our best.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll be back after this. Don't you go anywhere.
Get ready for non-stop cricket excitement as GBN brings you live coverage of this year's Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League. Please note there will be some adjustments to our regular programming lineup on Tuesday, September 3rd, Wednesday, September 4th, Thursday, September 5th, and Friday, September 6th. Transitions will be at 5:05 p.m. GBN television news will air at 6 p.m., followed by a repeat right after the CPL match. And don't miss the rebroadcast of transitions after the news repeat. GBN with you anywhere and everywhere with the best in sports coverage. Stay tuned and stay informed with GBN.
My name is Amanda, and I smoked while I was pregnant. My baby was born 2 months early and weighed only 3 pounds. This is the view I had of her in the NICU. My tip to you is speak into the opening so your baby can hear you better.
I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it, and relax it. Eliminate violence.
outside, guys.
Are you excited to see your brother?
Billy forgot his keys again.
I'll get it.
Man, we're here this afternoon to inform you that Billy's been involved in a motor vehicle collision and he has since passed.
Distracted driving is a deadly decision.
All right, welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the conversation. It's 16 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We do have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Joseph, and to your guests.
Welcome.
We are known in this country over the years, historically, we're making a lot of plans, and then throwing them on the cupboards and locking them up. This new plan, National Adaptation Plan to deal with the situation, the crisis, climate crisis, does it have a new legislative agenda to guarantee its implementation, or would it be left to the old colonial archaic laws that we have to have it done? Because I see, no, let me retract, I say nothing more. The question is there a legislative agenda, modern day, to guarantee and to give teeth to the implementation of this said plan? Thank you very much and have a nice day, will you?
You too, caller. Have a good one.
Okay.
You can handle this, right?
I think so. And perhaps Adasha might be able to add to it, but the process involves, like we mentioned earlier, different programs of actions. And within each program of action, we actually do have different measures. So different specific measures that we have to do, Grenada needs to get done to be able to achieve the objectives and the goal of, let's say, one of the program of actions were water availability. Right? And one of these measures, or several of these measures, does involve, to answer his question, legislation. We've identified legislation that is in perhaps a draft form, and those that needs to definitely be passed soonest to be able to achieve certain objectives. So within the plan itself, there are different legislations that has been identified for, yes.
Yeah, Adasha, you want to add to this?
And then there are also new ones that we'll have to develop. So for example, a measure will be to create legislation we have a new program of action, so there's nothing that exists before, and so we'll have to create as we go, or the document would dictate that there needs to be certain new legislations or review of existing legislation. For example, the Land Use Act, I believe, is decades old, and decades past its
its usefulness.
Its usefulness, yes, because for example, government doesn't own as much land as they used to when this legislation was approved, and so there's a lot of updating that needs to be done. But we cannot guarantee. So we cannot have a legislation to say, well, this must be, because as we said before, it all depends on funding and the availability of the funds to carry out these actions. So,
but also there's also the other end to it. The effective implementation of your plans could motivate donors to pump money into it. So it is important. Hence the reason why I said earlier, I hope it's not the norm where we have the big meetings and engagements and the big talks, and you get a lot of news clips and so forth, and at the end of the day, because I'm going to throw out a hint one time. We had a big meeting the last time on poultry, the poultry industry, and brought poultry farmers together. And in my opinion, it's a while now since that meeting took place, and I haven't heard anything about it again. I'm not saying that nothing is being done, but it is important to let people know that while you have not actually seen it in reality as yet, steps are being taken to have it implemented, but so that in itself is giving me the impression that it was just another big talk again. I hope that's not the case with the poultry industry. All right, just sending out a little word on this. Folks, we're entertaining your conversation at this time. Your input, your questions, your concerns. 435-2041. That's the number to call and share with us. And we do have a caller on the line already. Good morning, caller.
Pleasant good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. No, I feel so. I don't even know what word to use. One of your guests has admitted that there's excess carbon dioxide reaching the ozone layer. I learned in geography in the 50s and the 60s when I was in secondary school. The deforestation in Brazil, you have the leader of Brazil. These guys care nothing. In the Congo, you have the same thing going on. The East Indies, Papua New Guinea and all of that, and other places. And I mean, what is the role that the United Nations is playing on that? They should come in and make sure that these things don't happen. That is why we are having all of of this thing that is going on. I cannot understand it. And I mean, it will be made clear. This is what is going on. I think that there should be some international law. You come down on these people for doing what is wrong, going against the natural law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, caller. Yeah.
Thank you.
He's passionate. Yeah,
Yes,
he's passionate about the environment.
And I agree, and perhaps it's not maybe spoken about enough, but there is the COP, right?
Yes.
The Conference of Parties, and this is where we can hold the larger countries accountable, because essentially all the major countries that I won't say all, but the majority that contribute to these increased carbon and methane inputs, they have came to like a global agreement to help reduce their carbon emissions. So we can, through these international agreements, hold countries accountable.
Have you been to India?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, when you're talking about air pollution, take a trip there. You'd see, you can literally feel the weight of the air.
And you want us to go there to see?
Yeah, just for experience.
Okay.
So when you're talking from a place of knowing. Okay.
So it's just like, yes, we're speaking about it, but we talked about climate justice earlier on, right? So even though these countries have signed an agreement and we can hold them accountable, the process of perhaps holding them accountable can probably take forever, right? So one of
because
the
they control the courts and everything as well. So
right. So what they can perhaps do, as we have to be able to adapt to these global impacts locally, is of course contribute towards the adaptation process, because we're the ones feeling the.
We have another caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Would you people understand or accept the fact that nature would take care of its course, would take its course, and things would work out if we don't interfere with it?
I want you to elaborate on that a bit. Okay, he ran off. Nature will take its course if we don't interfere with it. No. Okay. Yeah, there are some necessary evils that we must come to terms with. Because where there is life, there will be waste. Okay? So the issue of we can do things to curb the quantity of carbon dioxide and other poison, dangerous gases that are emitted, but we cannot stop it.
We cannot.
We cannot. So that's a necessary evil. We must reduce. We have to look for ways to mitigate around it.
Right.
But for example, deforestation. In my opinion, that's my opinion publicly, right? It's another necessary evil because we build homes. We do cut down, we do the timber and so forth. But what I think one of the approaches should also be, again, I always say education is that vehicle to take people from one place to a better place. Education, so letting people know the impacts of what they're doing. So if you're going to cut down a tree, it is also important to plant back one.
Yes.
You understand? And let people have that intrinsic appreciation for the actions.
I totally agree. And as environmental, I like to refer to myself sometimes as someone who is passionate about conservation. I do totally agree with what you've just said. For instance, it becomes difficult for perhaps maybe government sometimes to decide, whether we should go more for economy or for conservation. For instance, we know globally speaking, mangroves are being reduced, and this is to, put up things like hotels, for instance. But the mangroves do, for instance, serve a purpose in terms of being a barricade or serving to reduce the impacts of, storm winds and hurricane winds. I mean, well, not maybe a category
coastal erosion
all of that, right? And then they also harbor a home for juvenile species, many different marine fishes and other species and so forth. So they do serve a purpose that does connect back to the economy as well. So sometimes it's just finding a balance in what is valuable, and sometimes governments have a difficult job in deciding, the value of maybe a resort versus the value of mangroves. So it's all well and good to speak about conservation, but we do have to also speak about the realities in life, and employment is something that is a big topic of discussion. Increasing employment, and we do want to be able to strike a balance when we're talking about both conservation and meeting people's needs.
Of course. Someone say we constantly blame the larger countries, but we are to blame as well. We demand the same products that are responsible for the industrial machine.
So when
necessary evil.
when Roxanne mentioned balance and going back to deforestation and the previous caller, deforestation, yes, you mentioned to build, but then think about the simplest thing. We need paper. We go to school. The paper is made. You cut trees and you make paper. So if we say, okay, so students, you no longer need notebooks and exercise books for school, here's a tablet. Then you have to think again that maybe the tablet has an even larger impact on the environment. And so what do we do? Do we go back to slates and chalk? No. That's the reality. And then as the person just mentioned, with our conveniences, do we want to be able to have a simpler life? Back in the days, most people were home, most ladies, women were home.
Agriculture and fisheries.
Exactly. Those were the main sectors. Now everybody's working. Everybody has to work in order to make it, and to live comfortably. And so the modern conveniences, we need them, yes, but then there's also that cost of what they contribute towards the environment. So yes, our contributions towards these gases, they've been increasing, but it's nowhere near what is happening out there. It's still 7 zeros before the 1, on our contributions. Yes.
We do have another caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the program.
The biggest pollution on earth with mankind is vehicle and diesel smoking.
Vehicles and what?
Vehicle and cement,
Cement, okay.
Cement is the biggest pollution in the earth, boss man. And vehicle smoke. Diesel and smoke and things. Even AC where you are living in, it's not healthy, Even the AC what all the building right now, that's not healthy air, boss man. Man live by fresh air. But the air they give us those chills and things and poison our system and things with that. That's the whole problem on earth, I saw a program one time in 94, Discovery Television like that. They make AC tell you. You better live in the atmosphere with diesel smoke in your nose than living in an AC building, But other people may accept the AC, they know how dangerous it is, but it's deadly, You know what you say, boss man?
Okay.
Pollution is vehicle, smoke, and cement is the biggest problem. Because no trees minor thing or not. Because no problem and trees are minor thing. But smoke and concrete cement is powerful thing or not.
Okay.
That's what the problem is.
Okay, thank you. You see, hence the reason why I said it's important for the educational aspect of it, because he's of the opinion that it's okay to cut down trees, but I know differently.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
On the vehicular side, and that's why now it's cheaper to import vehicles, 10 years or less, 10 years or younger, and the duties on hybrid and electric vehicles are way lower than bringing in a regular vehicle. So those are like incentives to bring in vehicles that would reduce our emissions.
Okay. All right, we've got 2 minutes left on the program, so let's do a comprehensive sort of closure.
Okay.
All right, so let's remind the folks of the community events that we have.
Okay. All right, so just to recap, today's program was all about talking about the topic of climate change, the impacts that you experience, whether it's coastal erosion, whether it's the impacts of Hurricane Beryl, but we are talking about climate change and how we as a society need to be able to adapt well and sustainably to these impacts. And this is where the National Adaptation Plan that is being led by the Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy comes in, right? And we want to let the public know more about the topic of climate change as well as what the National Adaptation Plan contains. And just a reminder, this National Adaptation Plan does consist of the advice and feedback from various stakeholders throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique.
Okay.
So now we have community sensitization events coming up just to get more, once again, feedback and get the ideas and the insights of the local communities. And we'll be out from next week, Monday. So Adasha, maybe you can reshare the date.
Sure. So Monday 16th will be in St. Patrick's at the Mount Craven Community Center. On Wednesday the 11th, St. Andrew, Grenville Secondary School, St. Mark and St. John together. Thursday the 12th at the Anglican School in St. John's. Monday 16th, St. David at the Canal. Tuesday 17th, St. George at Boca Secondary School. And Friday 20th, Carriacou and PT Martinique.
And just a reminder of the time, so all the ones in Grenada starts at 5 p.m. And for Carriacou, it's going to be at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So we really would love for the public to come out, and we want to hear from you.
I'm very happy that you all came this morning because I think it was a very enlightening session.
Thank you.
And again, I'm even happier as I'm seeing youth involved in this mission.
Yes.
All right, bring my regards to your minister and to your entire ministry, and keep up your great work. And I hope to have more engagements with you in the not too distant future.
Thank you
so much for having us.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, folks, that's the conversation for this morning. Those of you who participated one way or the other, thank you very much. And if the good Lord spare our lives, we'll have another conversation tomorrow. That's it for the program.